We have a job to do as members to reactivate less active members or to convert people that don't know about the gospel. And I don't think that we take that seriously enough.
Members can help missionaries in a lot of ways, because we know that this gospel isn't going to go to every nation just by the voice of the missionaries. And the prophets say that every member is a missionary. And so the members really play a big part in missionary work.
From the church's inception, members of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints have strongly been encouraged to engage in member missionary work. According to Elder Dallin H. Oaks, the members' important role in sharing the gospel has been emphasized continually for nearly half a century, but we are still far short of where we must be. The field of missionary work must be looked upon as a team effort with missionaries and members working closely together, as Elder Packer has said, equally yoked. President Hinckley said, "The Lord has laid upon us a mandate to teach the gospel to every creature. This will take the very best efforts of every member."
Most of all, I think it's when the missionaries leave. They come and go and they leave when the president makes a transfer. But members, they're always there. They're always in their ward. And so they can create a friendship that the missionaries can't. They can be friends and they can be their teachers. And they can be there to help them and guide them. That member's always going to be there, and he's going to be there as a friend and for support.
Elder Dallin H. Oaks has said, "When we investigated the sources for investigators who participated in first discussions, we found the following order of productivity. 1. Missionaries' personal contacting. 2. Media campaigns. 3. Members. The profile is very different, however, when we study the sources for investigators who are baptized. Of investigators found through media campaigns, about 1 to 2% are baptized. Of investigators found through the missionaries' efforts, about 2 to 3% are baptized. Of investigators found through the members, 20 to 30% are baptized. Elder M. Russell Ballard has said, "Our research has shown that members need to fulfill 3 critical roles or functions in order to support conversion, retention, and activation: modeling, informal teaching, and integrating."
Well, I think it's the plan of happiness. And as members live and are happy in gospel service, people see it. People can see it. It's very, very visible. And it touches their heart. They want it. And so I think there's much, much power in happy members serving, living the gospel, helping teach.
And you would feel comfortable in having more contact with him every day. Well, how's it going? Are you reading the Book of Mormon like they ask you to? But if you don't have that relationship, a warm relationship, it's very difficult to do that and feel like, okay, I'm not intruding. You know them well enough that you can do that. You know when to push, when to step back. Yeah, but building those bonds of friendship take time.
I think people are afraid of offending.
They were afraid of either losing a friendship or just their own reputation.
My home's not perfect enough, it's not decorated enough, it's not cleaned enough.
I think we get complacent or we'll get nervous. We're afraid of rejection. We don't want to make people feel bad or uncomfortable.
My children are children, they don't behave politely like I want them to behave.
Embarrassed to talk about Christ or what they believe. It could maybe make a difference in the work environment, in their own friendship, that maybe other friends will stop calling them or wanting to hang around them because, oh, he's religious, he believes in God.
I don't think we think about it. You know, I mean, we get kind of caught up in our routine and we don't think about it. We don't think about the kind of effect that we can have on the people around us, the people at the grocery store. Everything we do in life should revolve around the spiritual manifestations of it. Temporal things and spiritual things are together. And members tend to put their work in one basket, church in another basket, their children in another basket. And if we could combine all of that and realize that Christ is behind all of that, he's in everything we do. And I think it would take away the fear. and we'd realize how much power we have through Christ. Everything has eternal consequences. Everything has eternal purpose, and we tend not to look at that. The opposite of faith is fear, and the father of faith is Christ, and therefore, if the opposite, who's the father of fear? And so when we're afraid of something, we are actually under, I think, Satan's power. I really do. I think we are buying into that.
I grew up in the church and had a wonderful childhood. I had an interesting teenage life, and that really pushed me away from the gospel. I lost my faith and I lost my relationship with the Lord, and I started to go downhill from there and made very wrong choices. I got married again to my husband, and he was not a member, and in fact he had a very interesting life, and he was an interesting character when I first met him.
I grew up thinking that Mormons were like this huge cult. Really didn't ask too many questions about it. My mom grew up very anti-LDS, along with my grandmother and her whole side of the family. I grew up going to a church, just non-denominational, and I knew that they were LDS. I just didn't ask any questions about it, and they didn't try to talk to me about it, because a few times that they did, I just told them to back off, that I wasn't interested in it.
We found out we were pregnant, and I know how I was living my life, and I wanted to go back to church, but I was not getting a lot of support at home.
I would drop her off at her church, and I'd go half an hour to my own church that I grew up with.
I was starting to go back to church. My mother, bless her heart, she is so cute. And she has the best way of just working me, because she has such a strong testimony and she loves the gospel so much, and she's right. She's one of those, you know, members who she never shuts up and she never gives up. She will push it and push it and push it, and and no matter how much I didn't want her to say it, she would continue talking about it all the time, and it drove me nuts. And so finally, she's like, Rachel, I know I'm right. And I go, okay, fine, I'll tell you what, I'm gonna put you to the test. And so I said, I'll go to church. I'll go to church regularly, and if nothing good comes of it, you owe me. The more and more that we did that we were supposed to, the more and more that good came of it, and the more and more my husband saw that it was good coming from it. The only thing I couldn't get, he wouldn't let happen, was he wouldn't let me know that he saw it. The closer he got to the church, the farther he pushed it away.
Finally, wife and I had a huge breakdown with everything, and she convinced me to talk to the missionaries. And I'm sitting here thinking about this, and it's just, okay, I want to believe it, but I don't, because of what I grew up with. And her mom told me to try it and challenge it, so I did. And within like 3 or 4 weeks, these blessings just started falling right in line. It's just, as I always like to say, it's kind of creepy that things work out this way. And I asked her brother to baptize me, and so did that, and just started actually doing what I was supposed to be doing. It's been a complete 180.
We had people bring us, dinner, and we had people, offer to watch our daughter, and it was something that I was completely not used to. And it was just really nice. It was really nice. And everybody was very nice to Ben. Even though he had piercings and tattoos, his hair was dyed black, and I'll tell you, he wore makeup and nail polish, and nobody cared. Everyone treated him just like anybody else.
So I never shut up, and I never gave up. And I feel that way because we're soldiers. I believe that we are really like the army of Helaman.